Okay, we're on.
Okay. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honestly, the blessed one, the exalted one, the fully enlightened one, 已经世尊阿罗汉正等正觉者。So we continue from this book, in this book here, on page 395, number 5. Okay. Better than sovereignty over the earth. So what is this better than sovereignty? To become a king. You are even better than to become a king. To rule over the 4 continents. No? 听得懂哦? Even if you become a king, a lot of problems also. Actually, you see the you know, so many in the history, so many killing each other and fighting for the kingship and fear for his you know, his position, so actually suffering. So king suffer a lot. Monks, although a wheel-turning monarch, and this one is different actually. Wheel-turning monarch is a righteous monarch in the Buddhist teaching. 这个转轮王啊，转轮圣王 wheel-turning monarch. So this monarch is very special and righteous and not conquer the land with what we say 那个以这个暴力杀了。他是in righteousness rule the country and then gain his sovereignty. Having exercised supreme sovereignty over the 4 continents, with the break of the body after death, is reborn in the good destination, in a heavenly world, in the company of Deva of the Tower himself, realm, and there in the Nandana grove. Nandana 就是那个中文的翻译是什么？什么园？喜乐园。喜乐园。独立中心有一个那个 library 叫什么？它的名字？你记得吗？忘记了它的那个 library 的。You remember the Bodhi Center there, ABC?
Yeah.
The library?
I only know Bamboo Grove.
Okay. So.
Is there another grove?
善法堂。
善法堂。
善法堂。Sudhamma.
This is Nandana grove, accompanied by a retinue of celestial nymphs, and he enjoyed himself supplied with and endowed with the 5 cords of celestial sensual pleasure. Still, as he does not possess 4 things, he is not free from hell. What are these 4 things? Before you come to see further. When he is not possessed of these 4 things, because we remember that we have studied the Sotapan has 4 qualities. 你记得吗？一个呢 swing anchor 的人，他有4个 faith, strong faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and then have the good virtue. 4个。So he does not possess of these 4 things. He is not free from hell, the animal realm, and the domain of afflicted spirits, not free from the plane of misery, and the bad destination, the lower worlds. What is this lower world? 24th page, let's see. 24th page 454. The hell, the animal realm, the afflicted spirits are themselves the planes of misery.
Hello, welcome.
So that destination, the lower world. Put your thing first and then sit here. This These are two, and then the other two. Yeah, this here a spare book for you. The other two books there. Okay. So turn to page 395.
Yeah, come.
So we are talking about the Sotapan. Do you know about the stages of enlightenment? For you four of you. Stages of enlightenment in Buddhism. Then we have the Sowan, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahat. These are the four stages of enlightenment. So now we are studying and talking about the first stage of enlightenment. So Buddha mentioned that it is better than you become a universal monarch, rule over the four continents, and cannot compare to one who attained the first stage of enlightenment. Because the person who attained the first stage of enlightenment, he possesses four qualities. He had a strong faith in the Buddha, strong faith in the Dhamma, and strong faith in the Sangha. And he has a very good virtue, Sila. So with these four, and he will never go down to hell, animal realm, and the spirit world of ghosts. So he will be born the most 7 times in this human world or the Deva world. The Deva means the sensual plane Deva world. Not existing 7 times, more than 7 times. So the most is only 7 times. But he can be shorter, even 1 time or 2 times or 3 times and become Arahat. But if he just practice not so diligently, then the most is 7 times. So now we are talking about here now. Buddha mentioned about this the benefit of a Sowan or the string enterer. So better than sovereignty over the earth. Monks, although the wheel turning monarch, Chakravarti, or we call Dhamma Chakravarti, having exercised supreme sovereignty over the 4 continents, with the breakout of the body after death, is reborn in a good destination. Because this king is good, he's a righteous king. This we call the wheel turning monarch. In the heavenly world, in the company of the Deva or Kavatimsa realm, and there in the Nandana growth. In the heaven there also, like human world also, they have a garden. The heaven there. So there's a name given there also, Nandana growth. Accompanied by retinues of celestial names. There are so many beautiful, devas. All these very young deva. He enjoyed himself, supplied with and endowed with 5 causes of sensual pleasure. There still is a sensual world, so there also still continue to enjoy the sensual pleasure of sightseeing, the hearing, the smelling, the tasting, and the pleasure of touch. So the deva there also still enjoy this. Still as he does not possess 4 things. Still, as he does not possesses 4 things. That means this Chakravarti Deva, though he is a righteous king, born in the Deva realm, but he is not a soul one or not a string enterer. He have no this 4 qualities. Does not mention that strong faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, or unshakable. Usually, we will use a unshakable faith. That means no one can move his faith. That as we say, have no confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, or the Sangha. So he has this strong faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, Sangha, and including this Sila, good Sila. So he does not possess those 4 things. He is not free from hell. He is still not yet free from hell, because there are still opportunity for him to go down to hell because of the previous karma, bad karma, or this lifetime's bad karma. The animal realm, the domain of afflicted spirits, the suffering spirit. This might be we call Asura maybe. Asura, how? Afflicted spirit. And not free from the plane of misery. The bad destination, the lower worlds. So we already see the notes. If you want to see the notes, you turn back to page 454 and then 24, notes 24. 454, note 24. So the hell, the animal realms, and the spheres of afflicted spirits are themselves the plane of misery. So this actually is a suffering world. We say apaya. And then the bad destination. Now we continue here. Although monks, a noble disciple, maintain himself by lumps of food. Actually, Pintapata, when we say the words are Pintapata, do you heard about this Pintapata? Actually, we go for alms begging. Pintapata, usually ancient times, when they see the monks taking the bowls standing outside the house, so they used to take food and then with the hand, in ancient times they use the hand or maybe use a scoop, whatever. So a lump. So Pintapata is the meaning. So he said the monks, you see the monks that though wear the red robes. You see, actually our robes is patch robes. Patch, cut into these pieces and things like this. So red robes, in ancient time, they used to go to the cemetery, collect the cloth, and wash it, and then they cut it, and then they still sew it into a jewel. Still, as he possesses 4 things. So the monks, you see, living a very simple life, collecting alms food, eat 1 meal a day, and wearing this, the robes like this. So still, and then he possesses 4 things. He is free from hell. What are the 4 things? Just now I mentioned to you. You have faith in the Buddha or confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and the Sila, the good Sila. See, he will be free from hell, animal realm, and then the domain of spirit, afflicted spirit, free from the plane of misery, the bad destination, the lower world. What 4 things? Confirm. He used the word confirm. Avecha pasada. In Pali, avecha means not moving, not move, cannot move. Confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and the moral virtue dear to the noble ones. These are the 4 things. So many, Buddhists, they aim for, at least in this life, that if we can attain this first stage of enlightenment, the first stage, so one, or we say the string emperor, then we are very safe in the samsara, because the first, the most is only 7 times. Then we won't be going down to hell to suffer anymore. Going to the spirit world and then to the animal realms also. And monks, between the obtaining of sovereignty over the 4 continents and obtaining the 4 things, the obtaining of sovereignty over the 4 continents is not worth a 16th part of the obtaining of the 4 things. So can you understand this? So compare of these 2, the 4 things, you are able to rule over the 4 continents, and then enjoy sensual pleasure and be born in the Dewa plane even after your death. But you still are not free from suffering of the animal realm, hell, and the ghost. So it's better. How many times you use 16 part, 1/16. I don't know why we use this one. In Sri Lanka, do you use this to compare 1/16 part?
Yeah. You use the multiples of 8 usually.
8?
Yeah, there are multiples of 8, 8, 16,
24.
But usually in the English is 1/4,
Yes.
1/4. 我们用是4分之一嘛。
1/4太少了嘛，16/4
是的，我是说的。So it's so very little, even 16 part or 16 part of 这个 one. So compare even not that, you know. So therefore, this chapter is actually to show us that how wonderful that if we can attain the first stage, even in this life, is better than to become a king and to rule over the 4 continents and so on. So, any question about this? I think no. This is easy to understand, huh? Okay, we continue here. Non-returning. If we say non-returning, then in Pali is what?
Anagami.
Anagami. Agama. Anagama means not coming back. Anagami. So number 1, abandoning the 5 lower factors. So anagami, the 5 factors, lower factors, 上分节和下分节，有没有？
无上分解，
无上分节和无下分节，这个呢，无下分节断掉全部。So these lower 5 factors are very gross. So tie us to the sensual world. Tie us to the sensual world means the Deva world, sensual Deva world, and also sensual human and lower plane. But if once you become an anagami, you cut off 5, and you are not coming back to the sensual world, but you will be in rupa world. Rupa means form, that form like Brahma in that plane. Number 1, abandoning the 5 lower factors. What is this factor? There is a path and way ananda to the abandoning of the 5 lower factors, that anyone without relying on that path and way might know or see or abandon the 5 lower factors. This is possible. This is not possible. Just as when there is a great tree standing possessed of a hard wood, it is not possible that anyone might cut out its hard wood without cutting through its barks, the said wood. So too, in the case of abandoning the 5 lower factors. You understand the first here? So Buddha was talking to Ananda. You know Ananda, the Buddha disciple. Without abandoning the 5 lower factors, that anyone without relying on the path and the way. What is this path and the way? What is this path and what is this way? The path and the way is the same thing. Without relying on that path and way, we have these 4 noble truths. The first truth is the dukkha, suffering. The second truth is the cause of the suffering. The third truth is the cessation of the suffering. And the last one is the way or the path to the realizing of the Nibbana, Noble Eightfold Path. So here Buddha actually is not if without relying on that path, the Noble Eightfold Path, because this path is noble, is 8 altogether. So then might know and see or abandon the 5 lower factors. You are impossible. Even to actually to attain the first stage of enlightenment, the second stage of enlightenment, not to say of the third. Now this is anagami is the third stage of enlightenment. So therefore, Buddha actually mentioned in another sutta that is talking about to become an arahant, so or to become the first stage of enlightenment, second stage of enlightenment, the third stage of enlightenment, up to the stage of the arahantship. If without practicing this Noble Eightfold Path, that is impossible to attain. So this is what he meant here. See and abandon the 5 lower fetters. It is not possible. Just as when there is a great tree, if you want to take the hardwood inside, you have to cut first the outer layer. You see the bark, he said that the bark and the process of the hardwood, it is not possible that anyone might cut it, a hardwood, without cutting through its bark and sapwood, the 2 layers outside. So too, in the case of the abandoning of the 5 lower factors. So there is a path and way under to the abandoning of the 5 lower factors. That someone, by relying on that path and way, might know and see and abandon the 5 lower factors. This is possible just as when there is a great tree standing possess of hardwood, it is possible that someone might cut out this hardwood by cutting through its bark, the sapwood. So too in the case of abandoning the 5 lower fetters. So another way of talking that if abandoning these 5 lower factors, then going on the path, then it is possible to cut away the 5 lower factors, become anandami. And then number 8 here, suppose the river Ganges. River Ganges is very famous in India. Ganga, were full of water right up to the brink. Is there a water lower and then higher or almost all the year round? I don't know about Ganges. But when we go to pilgrimage and then to Varanasi, then we see almost all same level. Not so much of a difference of up and down. But here you see water right up to the brink, so that crows could drink from it. And then a feeble man came thinking, by swimming across the stream with my arms, I shall get safely across to the further shore of this river Ganges. Yet you would not be able to get safely across. So too, when the Dhamma is being taught to someone for the cessation of identity. Cessation of identity is identity of I, my, myself, this identity. No identity. So if his mind does not enter into it and acquire confidence, steadiness and resolution, then he can be regarded as like the feeble man. So we see the note here at the back, feeble man. So turn to page 454, 25. Identity here, Pali word is Sakaya Ditti. Sakaya. Sakaya means I, the body, as I, as my, as myself, identified. It is the composite of the 5 aggregates. What are these 5 aggregates? Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vinyana. Rupa means the form, this body. You identify this body as I, as mine, as myself. The Vedana, the feelings. The feeling can be good feeling, the bad feeling, or neutral feeling. So you identify this feeling as I, as mine, as myself. So likewise, Sankara, Vedana, Sanya. Sanya in English, what is the translation here?
Consciousness?
Sanya is subconsciousness. Five aggregates here, this body, feeling, perception.
Perception.
Yeah, perception. In English translation, they use the word perception. Perceive something. So know something, then you identify something. So this Sanya. Then Sankara. What is this English translation for Sankara? mental formation. Maybe in other places there are different translation, but you use your mind to do karma, then sankhara activity, mental formation. And the last one is vijnana, is consciousness. So this five, actually this five. So actually this five aggregates, we take it as I, as mine, as myself. We identify them as I myself, as I, as mine, as myself. 五蕴啊，五蕴呢，可是我们的每次念那个心经的时候，五蕴皆空，五蕴皆空。Actually, is no I, no mine, no myself. So that we identify as ourself. The cessation of identity is nibbana. If you have no more taking them, this five, as I, as mine, as myself, this five aggregates, as we say, is the nama rupa. Nama rupa means the body and the mind. Because when we say a human being, what is the human being? Actually consists of the body and the mind. When we say about mind, then we say four things: Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. When we say about body, then we have the Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Earth element, water element, fire element, the wind element. Actually, all elements. So we take all these things as I, as mine, as myself. If you have no more taking this thing as I, as mine, as myself, you attain nibbana. You don't grips, or you don't, we say that 执着, clinging to them anymore. Then you are free. So we see that now suppose Ananda. So if we say that you say that these five aggregates, by swimming across with my arms, I shall get safely across the further shore of this river Ganges. So you want to cross over this river Ganges, yet he is not be able to get safely across. So too, when the Dhamma is being taught to someone for the cessation identity, if his mind does not enter into it and acquire confidence, steadiness, and resolution, so your confidence, that means if you have not actually had a real confidence, strong confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, you have not seen the Dhamma. So the first stage of enlightenment person is actually he has seen the Dhamma. So he has strong confidence and he is very, energetic type of person, because he has this steadiness and resolution, that means fighting or struggling hard. Then he can be regarded as like the feeble man. So if you do not possess this thing, confidence and the steadiness and resolution, this kind of thing, that if you are like a feeble man. You are not strong enough to fight. To over this, cross over this, the river Ganges. Because you might, when you are crossing, you might drown down. Suppose Ananda, the river Ganges, were full of water. Full of water, that means a lot of water, and then there's a lot of, this river current. So we're full of water right up to the brim, so that cross would drink from it. And then a strong man come thinking, by swimming across the stream with my arms, I shall get safely across to the further shore of this river Ganges, and he would be able to get safely across. So too, when the Dhamma is being taught to someone for the cessation of identity, if his mind enter into it and acquires confidence, steadiness, and resolution, then he can be regarded as like a strong man. So actually here is talking about further than string enterers. 你们这里面是讲什么 ？non-anagami， say that anagami have a very strong mind and powerful mind. So, not yet reach anagami, still you are quite weak also. Sotapanna or sakadami, especially sotapanna, still you are very weak. Though you see the Dhamma, you are crossing, but you are not still not yet very safe. I mean, you may get drowned and things like that. But sure, you will cross over, but you still have danger. Danger in certain, of course, not to say that very serious.
Not strong enough.
But not strong, not very steady, steadfastness. But anagami very strong. And what ananda is the path and the way to the abandoning of the 5 low factors. So anagami have 5 low factors. Here, with seclusion from acquisition. What is this acquisition here? The translation go back 26. So 4, 5, 4, 26. Upadhi, Pali. In the present context, this would seem to mean material possession. In this context, it means material possession, upadhi. So here with seclusion from acquisition, seclusion from material. Essentially, it's a material world. The anagami would like to be very secluded. Will always go to the forest. Will always go to places for retreat and then to practice anagami. But so here acquisition means actually is material acquisition. So with the abandoning of the unwholesome states, with the complete tranquilization of the bodily, what is that called? Inertia. Secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states, a monk enters and dwells in the first jhana. So jhana, I think you know, jhana, that means practice meditation. His mind is fully absorbed. In the first stage was, jhana. The first, the second, the third, and the fourth. There are 4 jhana. It is called, here is the first stage jhana. So anagami is always, have a lot of time spent in meditation. Especially his meditation can easily acquire jhanas. Because he is free from sensual acquisition. He is very detached from material thing. Not only very gross type, gross type of material sensual pleasure, but even whatever very fine kind of material attachment, he is always letting go. Because we cling to gross type and also very fine types of pleasure also. But then anagami, cutting off the 5 lower factors, that means the raga and the dosa completely no more. 是吗？然后他的 sensual pleasure 根本没有。You got any question? If you got any question, you can ask. Then we may go further. Of course, if you are the first lesson and then if you have not come to this study from the beginning, then you may have a lot of things to learn. But anyhow, when you come a few times, then you get more. Because a lot of terms and also translation, different teachers translate differently using English terms. But the most important thing is you try to remember that the Pali terms. Pali terms that the English teacher, different, maybe the Bhikkhu Bodhi translation, and then another one is Australian monk, the translation. They use different English terms to translate one Pali words. So therefore, we have to know that one Pali words, origin. Then it will be very useful for us. So they use the word acquisition, with the abandoning of the unwholesome states. That means unwholesome state usually we say about the 5 hindrances. Because once you want to enter into the first jhana, you have to cut off the 5 hindrances. You know what are the 5 hindrances? 什么是五盖？
传承调取，
Sensual desire, beauty, sloth and torpor, restlessness,
and
and
doubt.
doubt. These 5 things that actually when you do meditation, so will come, any of these 5 will come to you, that you hinder your progress in meditation. So if you can overcome these 5, then only you can sit very happily and very ease and peacefully to continue your meditation. So unwholesome states, abandoning of the unwholesome states with the complete tranquilization of the bodily inertia. This actually, your mind become the bodily tranquil. Your mind later also become tranquil, and then you enter into first jhana. Secluded from sensual pleasure, seclusion from unwholesome states, a mind enters and dwell in the first jhana. So, which is accompanied by thought and examination, with rapture and happiness born of seclusion. So, what are the actually first jhana? First jhana have 5, what we say? 五支啊
Five factors.
5 factors. First jhana have 5 factors. You see here, mention about these 5 factors. You abandon the 5, unwholesome stage of these hindrances. Then you acquire the 5. That means you enter into the first jhana. So you have this vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. Vitaka, vichara. Here you say thoughts and examination. Vitaka and vichara. That means your mind still running on to the subject of your meditation. You are not down, fixed in that point, but you still running on, in and out. And then rapture. Your body become very rapture, and then the mind, piti, and then sukha happiness come to you also. And then sukha, and then born in ekagata also is another thing is the 5 one. The 5th one is called ising, one pointedness of mind. So you have 5 factors then coming out. Actually, you already attained the first jhana. Whatever exists there in of form, feeling, perception, volitional formations and consciousness, the one we talked about, no? Panchaskandha, 5 aggregates. He sees those states as impermanent, as suffering, as a disease, as a tumor, as a as a calamity, as an affliction, as alien, as disintegrating, as empty, as non-self. So he gives so many definitions. So we go back and see the notes 27. Of these 11 attributes, impermanent, disintegrating, illustrate the characteristic of impermanence. Yeah, these 2 things is actually talking about impermanence. So, and then alien. What is this? Alien. 是什么意思? When you enter US, they say you are alien.
Strange.
Huh?
Stranger.
Outside.
Outsider.
Oh, we are from the outer space. So, empty is actually empty. Non-self, 空的，没有我。So the characteristics of non-self. So using different terms actually is the same thing. Yeah, is a non-self. And the other 6, the characteristics of suffering. So actually, we see that in anicca, we see dukkha, we see anatta. Okay? All this thing mentioned here is actually talking about you see anatta. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means impermanence. You see suffering, and then you see there are empty and no self in it. So, then he comes here. He turned his mind away from those states and direct it towards the deathless elementals. So actually, here 在这里你看到他是用一场定就来观了。You notice or not? Usually, sometimes in the sutta is mentioned up to the 4th jhana. You remember? Sometimes you see up to 1st jhana, 2nd jhana, 3rd jhana, 4th jhana, and then you contemplate. Here it's only mentioned 1st jhana. You see here? Only 1st jhana. So from the 1st jhana, then your mind turns towards other things. So into vipassana. Already. So then you see, because your mind is now quite steady and strong. Then you see the 5 aggregate. You examine the 5 aggregate. One by one. This body, this feeling, this perception, this mental formation, this consciousness. One by one you go into seeing it, and then it will give you the affirmation of understanding these 5 things are anicca. It is all the time is changing anicca. Then it gives you the affirmation and the understanding of it is suffering, dukkha, and the affirmation of anatta, that they are changing, they are suffering. There is no self, no I there. So these 3 things you can see. Empty of oneself. He turned his mind away from those states and direct it towards the deathless element. Deathless element is seeing the Nibbana's way. Direct it mind to the Nibbana. Then he is peaceful. Nibbana is peaceful. And then this is sublime. That is the stilling of the all formation. That means all sankhara. Stopping of all the sankhara. What is mean the sankhara? Stopping of all the activities. 那个业，诸业 stop. No more creating, no more making. 停了那个业。All kinds of good kusala karma or kusala karma or whatever karma, stop. Or no more doing all kind of formations. The relinquishing of all acquisitions. So you are giving up all the acquisition of I, my, myself, all these things. The destructions of craving. So then you cut off the craving. Your mind turns toward automatically the cutting off craving, dispassion. Then you turn towards not anymore of passion to this thing. And then to stopping. Cessation means stop, and nibbana. We see what is the note here. He turned his mind away from the 5 aggregates, included within the jhana. So which he has seen to be marked with these 3 characteristics: the deathless element, so amata dhatu. Element, you use the Pali word, then English dhatu, dhatu element. Amata means deathless, is nibbana. First, he direct his mind to it with insight consciousness. Having heard it praised as peaceful and sublime, and so forth. Then, with the supramundane path, he direct his mind to it by making it an object and penetrating it as peaceful and sublime, and so forth. So, actually, it's telling the mind. turning the mind toward Nibbana, and then realizing Nibbana is peaceful, and then cessation of all these things, rather than clinging and attachment to all these sensual things and enjoyment to material things. Okay. He turned his mind away from those states and directed it to the deathless elements, amata dhatu. This is peaceful. And then he said that Nibbana is peaceful, and this is sublime, and this is stealing of all the formation. The relinquishing of all acquisition. So it's actually giving up, 放下, 全部放下. The destruction of craving is no more craving, and then dispassion, cessation, Nibbana. If he is steady in that, he attains the destruction of things. So if he up to that stage, he actually is destruct and cut off the factors, or we see use the word tains here. But if he does not attain the destruction of tain, here all completely tains, but here not yet attain the destruction of tain, then through that very desire for the Dhamma, that delight in the Dhamma, with the destruction of 5 lower factors. The first one, destruction of tain, means Arahant. Not yet completely destruction all the tain, that means the 10 factors, he still has some, that means remain 5. Then he attained, he said that what? He delight in Dhamma. Desire for Dhamma, delight in Dhamma, and then the destruction of the 5 lower factors, he become one due to be reborn spontaneously in pure abodes. So once you become an anagami, you are no more coming back to this human world, and no more coming back to this
sensual work.
sensual deva world even. Then you only born in the rupa world, but a special 5 places for anagami. 净居天, 无净居天, only for the anagami. So there. Attain, and then you there attain the final Nibbana without ever returning from that world. So we go back and see, this is the path, the way to the abandoning of the 5 lower factors. So see the note number 29. Dhamma ragena, raga is raga dosa. Dhamma, you have the raga of Dhamma. Sometimes the raga means it's not so good used to raga, but the Dhamma raga is something good. Because you desire for the Dhamma. And then Dhamma nandiya, sukha, like something. Actually, Malay sukha and the Pali sukha is what? Happiness. Malay happiness is 喜欢. Saya suka ini, saya tak suka ini, ya. Yung sangkwan tapi bini mo siyang ya. We see the Malay, in Malaysia. We also use this word, also have sukha. But Pali sukha means happiness. But in Malaysia it means like. I like this, I like that.
The singular translation is very similar to Pali.
Huh?
The singular translation is similar to Pali.
Yeah, this is all using the Pali translation. Dhamma ragena and then Dhamma nandiya. It seems that this desire for the Dhamma and the delight in the Dhamma do 2 things simultaneously. Oh, if you have the raga in the Dhamma and then the nandiya in the Dhamma, so 2 things come. Become they, number 1, because they are directed towards the Dhamma. Because you are happy about Dhamma, you go into Dhamma, so they are directed towards the Dhamma, going to the Dhamma. They propel the disciple to the destruction of the 5 lower factors. So just like you are sitting on the ship there, and then you propel, and then towards the Nibbana. 坐进去那个船啊，进入那个涅槃的那个什么那条路，或是涅槃城 ，directed towards the Dhamma. They propel the disciple to the destruction of the five lower factors. So once you step into the Dhamma, you are preparing for the destruction of the five lower factors. So the Dhamma guide you one by one to cut away destruction, cut away all the factors. From the first three factors, and then the second three, and then lessening the two factors, another two, and then the third five lower factors are completely cut away. So this is number one. Number two, because they are still delight and desire and delight. 因为还有那种爱，还有那种执着这个法，你知道吗？执着。So they prevent the attainment of the arahatship. So the last part, when you want to attain arahatship, even the Dhamma that you also have to put it down, not to cling to Dhamma. 听得懂吗？ But it's one for the beginner to step into this, the Dhamma, delight in Dhamma, rather for Dhamma, and then it help you for acquiring the Dhamma path towards Nibbana and cutting off the factors and things. But another side is that will also prevent you from attaining Arahat. Because when you want to become an Arahat, you also not to cling to Dhamma. To this good Dhamma, to the bad Dhamma, and so on. Of course, the bad Dhamma you don't have to say. Even the good Dhamma also not to cling to. So it's not easier. So these two things simultaneously become so. So again, with the subsiding of the thought and examination among entering during the second jhana. Oh, so just now you see, even the first jhana that you can attain to become an anagami. 是吗？因为这一个里面呢讲到的第一个呢，用这个第一禅的时候呢，你从这个第一禅中呢，你转向呢去观这个
You have to
vipassana 禅。
you have to have a right Dhamma.
Of course, then you are going into, then you are able also to attain a higher path into this anagami. So, but to be very sure and steady, of course, then Power Center is always emphasized all the way go to the fourth jhana. Then from the fourth jhana, then you start to develop vipassana. But here in this sutta, not mentioned, you go all the way to the fourth jhana. But first jhana, from the first jhana, then you still can do the vipassana. 听得懂吗？
Yeah.
Okay. because sometimes some teacher they teach differently. So they want the disciple to go all the way to the fourth jhana, then only they start practice vipassana. But then this book here mentioned that if you want to attain the anagami first jhana, from there you can go into vipassana. From vipassana, then you are able to attain this anagami, first jhana. So from 10 to 12, now already shorten it, abbreviate. Again, with the subsiding of thought and examination, a monk enter and join in the second jhana. So this is to shorten it, because in the previous chapter we have already talking about the first jhana, second jhana, the third jhana. So they just here in this lesson here is talking about first jhana, then second jhana, then they don't mention what is that leaving off. Second jhana, again with the fading away of the as well as rapture, a monk enter and dwell in the third jhana. Again, with the abandoning of the pleasure and pain, a monk enters and dwells in the fourth jhana. So here actually, one by one, from the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, and the fourth jhana, the 5 factors becoming 4 factors, becoming 3 factors, becoming 2 factors, and then until only ekagata, upekha. When you come to fourth jhana, you only upekha. Then with that upekha mind. And then any pleasure and pain, all this one is already abbreviated. Fourth jhana, which has neither pain nor pleasure, and purity of mindfulness due to equanimity. So fourth jhana, that time your mind is so very powerful and steady. You have full of what? Equanimity, 舍的心啊，不会呢在这个乐或是哪里的执着。当然苦是没有了啦，可是它还是没有。So you are very equanimity the time the fourth jhana. Whatever exists there in a fourth form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. You see, when you are doing vipassana, this panchaskandha or wind, you cannot avoid. You are contemplating the nama and the rupa, the body and the mind. So when you're talking about the body part is always the 4 elements. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. When you are talking about the mind, then Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. All these things, you always come into it. So panchaskandha. So when you go into vipassana, you see this feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. You see these states as impermanent. Similarly, as above mentioned about the 11th state of what? Is anicca, dukkha, anatta. You see that is anicca. You see them as dukkha. You see them as anatta. Give you the confirmation. Actually, you actually realize it yourself. Realize it, actually you see yourself. It's not to hearing, to faith. I have some faith in the Buddha teaching, and then to that faith that I say anatta, anatta. But actually I don't see anatta. But if you realize it, and then you see yourself, you know yourself. What is mean with this anatta? So we use the word realization. So we see those states as impermanent, as non-self, anicca, dukkha, anatta. He turned his mind away from these states and direct it towards deathless elements. So he turned away his mind from attachment, from clinging, from all this, delight in all this identity and so on. And then he come himself to this peace, state, stillness, and nibbana. He always like this. This is the path and way to the abandoning of the 5 lower factors. So here is talking about the anagami state. Okay? Again, with the complete transcending of perception of forms. So with the passing away of perception of sensory impingement, with non-attention to perception of diversity, aware that space is infinity. Oh, then this one is very, very high in meditation. Because meditation is called rupa jhana, and then another type is arupa jhana. Then this is talking about arupa jhana now. Just now we mentioned about the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, the fourth jhana. That is all these 4 jhana is called rupa jhana. Rupa means I still have this body, rupa. Arupa means no more body. So now it's talking about this arupa jhana. So those who can practice arupa jhana, first they have to have mastery of the 4 rupa jhana. If you are not able to master the 4 above, jhana, you are not able to practice further this arupa jhana. So now it's talking about arupa jhana. Okay, we just study. Again, with the complete transcending of perception of forms, with the passing away of perception of sensual infringement, with non-attention to perception of diversity, aware the space is infinite, 空无边处啊，这个是边空是吗？不是 space
空无边处。
是 space okay space is vast, very vast. So the mind enter into that stage of enter into the space. So a monk enter upon and dwell in the days of infinity of space. So that is a very high meditation. Then the second type of we say that arupajana, whatever exists that in of feeling, perception, volitional formation in consciousness. We see the note here 30. Here, in the formless attainment, the sutta mentioned only the four mental aggregates. Because root is already no more rupa. So therefore it's only mentioned about mind. 是吗？因为 is already transcend 一个 form 的，所以呢没有 mention about this form 的东西。So the aggregate of form is excluded. We see those states as impermanence. So he is able to see this impermanence of space is also impermanent, as also as suffering as non-self. 哇，这个是很高的境界。He turned his mind away from those states and directed it towards deathless element. Then 他这可能要去转他的 mind 去看涅槃，那个心灵法门。So this path and way to the abandoning of the five lower factors. Okay. 哇，这个还是说那 this is still anagami. Anagami able to practice this arupajana.
Of course.
Because anagami,
even Buddha's teacher, they attended.
they are not anagami, but they practice jhana.
Yeah.
They have the four rupa jhana, four arupa jhana. Before the Bodhisattva, that means the Buddha, so he had two teachers. They taught him practice meditation. So he learned from them very high also in meditation. Again, by completely transcending this, the base of infinity of space. 空无边处，这个是
四无边处。
Space. Aware that consciousness is infinite. 是 consciousness. The consciousness is infinite. A monk enters upon and dwells in the base of infinity of consciousness. And then come to the mind again. Wherever exists there in feeling, perception, volitional formation, still you have to contemplate on this five aggregate nama rupa. 还是要观这个五蕴。See those states as impermanent, as a non-self. He turns his mind away from those states and directs it towards deathless element. This is the path and way to the abandoning of the five lower factors. Again, now come to the third arupajana. Again, by completely transcending the base of infinity of consciousness, aware that there is nothingness. 这个是什么？
无所有处。
无所有处 nothingness, nothing. The mind come to the stage of nothing. So a monk enter and dwell, or enter upon and dwells in the base of nothingness. Wherever exists there in of feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness, he sees those states as impermanent. Of course, now there's no more talking about rupa because now it's no more rupa. It's only mind, the mind state. So only mention about the feeling, perception, mental formation, consciousness. So we see those states as impermanent, as suffering, as a disease, as a tumor, as a bug, as a calamity, as affliction, as alien, as a disintegrating, as void, as non-self. He turned his mind away from those states and direct it towards deathless element. This is peaceful, this is sublime, this is healing of all formation, stop of all kind of formation activities. relinquishing of all acquisitions, or the destructions of craving, dispassion, cessation. If he is steady in that, he attained the destruction of the tail. If he is steady in that means what? He is very steady to look at it in that way, or firmly see it, not with the not clear, not steady mind. So steady in that, so he attained the destruction of pain. 那么他看得很清楚，看得很清楚的话呢，他把那个五下分解断掉。So, but if he does not attain the destruction of the tails, then destruction of all the tails here means the 10. Then, through that very desire for Dhamma and delight in Dhamma, still have some kind of attachment to Dhamma. With the destruction of the 5 lower factors, he becomes one due to be reborn spontaneously. When we take birth, when we say birth, how many types of birth there? How many kinds of birth?
4.
四生九有。我们的方言呢有4生，有9个有。Birth, there are birth in the womb, birth in the watery kind of places. There's something, germs or what, germinate there. And then there is a kind of birth is, eggs, born into eggs, and then from eggs hatch out, like chicken, duck, and some fish, crocodile, tortoise. And then spontaneous birth, there is no, just spontaneously, boom, no father, no mother. Like Deva, the ghost, like what more?
Hell. Hell.
If you are born in hell, also spontaneously. No, you don't have to go through anyone. There spontaneously you are born there. Become there. And then ghost also. This is spontaneous. So we have 4 kinds of birth. So birth, or watery kind of birth. Moist, we use the word moist birth, born, moist born. And then the egg born. And then the womb born. And then the spontaneous. So here the Deva here is pure abode. In the Deva world, spontaneously born. And then attain final Nibbana without ever returning from that world. So, 在那边呢，你正念好 you don't have to come back to this world to practice. Then you just continue your life there and practice easily, I think. Those being there and then you get Nibbana. This is the path, the way to the abandonment of the 5 lower factors. So, this is how you practice the Samatha and Vipassana. We use the word Samatha and then Vipassana, and then the Dhamma, and then knowing the Dhamma is seen. So this is from where? From Majjhima Nikaya, N is in Majjhima. Majjhima Nikaya, Malunkyā Sutta. So today we are up to here. And we have done this chapter of Sotapan and Anagami. It's very interesting. Those you don't know is okay, but next time you continue to learn and you should know more and more. You can mark it and then next time we continue. The next chapter will come to the 4 kinds of persons. Very soon, and it will be finished with this chapter. Any question? Okay. Hope that you can understand. But anyhow, you can ask. Okay, we will transfer or share the merits.
Avata Jamune Sampatam Punya Sampatam Sabbe Deva Sabbe Buddha Sabbe Satta Anumodantu Sabba Sampadi Siddhya Idame punyang asawakaya hotu, Nibbanasa pachayo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.